so welcome to another TBR Takedown vlog, episode 2. I'm going to start calling them TBR Takedown videos because I'm going to be reading books that have been sitting on my TBR, my physical TBR, for way too long. And I have a good stack of books here that are options for this vlog. So the way that this works is that I'm not going to just read these books in like 1 week. I'm going to read them when I'm able to pick them up. And I've made it a goal every month so far this year. Like, obviously, we're only in February 2026, where I am going to try to read 1 series and 3 standalone books that have been on my TBR for too long. So, like, that means the TBR cart and series that have been on my one shelf of series that I still haven't gotten to yet. Because literally the majority, more than 75% of my books on my bookshelves have been read. There's only like literally this small little series section of like 4 series that I haven't read yet. And I really would like to read one of those trilogies next month. So those are going to be the other books that I include in my TBR Takedown. But one of these books is being read in February, and then the rest of them are being read in March. And the one that I'm reading in February, I'm already more than halfway through because I started it yesterday. So what else was I going to say? So since I'm dividing it up like that, I think that's a good way to do it, because I did that this month, and I read Red Queen finally, and I vlogged the whole thing. Red Queen has been sitting on my TBR for way too long. It was like over 2 years because I got them in February of 2024, right after I read ACOTAR. I was going to go into Red Queen, but then I ended up going into Powerless, which we all know that Lauren Roberts was straight up inspired by Red Queen, but also like there's a lot of controversy about like how much she actually took from the series. So I finally wanted to read it and see for myself. And yeah, there's a lot of similarities, but I finally read the series, and I feel really good about reading that. So now I'm on my 5th book this month that has been on my TBR for way too long. And then I think I'm going to put one more book in, fit one more book in this month, but it's for another vlog. But this is going to be its own separate vlog for these 4 books. So these are the contenders for the next month and a half, to be honest, because I'm going to be reading most of these in March. So these are the 4 books that I'm going to want to read. So I always try to put a good mix of genres in these videos because these are 4 different genres. So first off, we have Kristen Hanna's The Great Alone. I'm more than halfway through this book already. I'm on page 266. I want to read a lot more of this physically today because I listened to a lot of the audiobook yesterday. I probably have only read like maybe 40 pages of the book physically, but her audiobook narrator is so good. I think she's the same audiobook narrator as Taylor Jenkins Reid's books. Also, I haven't read any Taylor Jenkins Reid this year, but I wanted to work on more Kristen Hanna books this year. This is now my 5th book by Kristen Hanna, and I'll check in with you guys on what I think so far after I tell you what's on the TBR for this video. So the second one, this one has been on my TBR probably, let me tell you guys how long they've been on my TBR. This one I think has been on my TBR since 2024. So you guys know my relationship with Kristen Hanna. It's really hard for me to pick up her books because they're so emotionally exhausting because you just cry so much. I mean, it says on my Goodreads it's been a year. So I think this was 2024 though. Like maybe October or November of 2024. I don't remember when I actually added it to my physical TBR, but it's been over a year that this has been on my TBR. So far I'm loving it. Then next up we have a YA fantasy. And this book, I know I've checked like 5 times on how long this book has been on my physical TBR, and it's been since June of 2024. So I'm trying to, read books that have been on my TBR for more than a year or so. and that is Splintered by A.G. Howard. I wanted to read this in January, but I just simply ran out of time. I also wanted to read it in February, but I simply just ran out of time. So I'm going to try and read it in March, and if I don't read it then, I'm never going to read it. So I'm going to try and read this. This is like an Alice in Wonderland Grimm Tales retelling. And each book is based on a different Alice character. This one obviously is based on Alice. I don't think I'm going to read or continue the rest of the books. I just want to read this one to see what I think, because this was recommended by my book bestie Becca. And then the next one I kind of moved up a little bit more because I really had like no desire to pick this up. I don't know why. This is like one of the romances that I've been on my TBR for just way too long, but I really do want to watch the movie, so I kind of want to read this sooner rather than later, and I wanted to put a romance in this video at least, and that is The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. I don't know why I just haven't had any desire to pick this up, but I was talking to my two book besties that I went to the book signing with last week, because I ended up going to 2 book signings this month, which is really, really cool. We've had like quite a bit of book signings on Long Island this month. And they were saying, like, how have you not read The Hating Game yet? Because we were in the bookstore that we went to the book signing for. And we were just browsing, and they were talking. I was like, I still haven't read this book yet because it was on the table. And they're like, how have you not read it? It's so cute. And I was like, okay, so I have to move this up more. So I'm going to read this in March as well. And then the last one, this one I've just been putting off because, one, I don't really love the author anymore. I mean, she's a very controversial author. But I do want to read this before the movie comes out because I really do want to see the movie. And that is Verity by Colleen Hoover. Now, this is the only other book from Colleen Hoover that I'm going to read. After that, I don't think I'm going to read any more of her books anymore. I didn't even read any of her books last year. The only books that I've read by her is It Ends With Us and It Starts With Us. And I actually did enjoy both of them. But then I gave both of them away. This one only costed me $5. And I just, again, I really want to read the book so I can see the movie. Because I really do want to see this movie when it comes out in October. I'll probably just use a gift card. So I don't have to give her any, like, of my money anymore. But anyway, like, her books are always sold being used in like thrift stores, or I got this at the same bookstore that I was telling you guys about. I actually got most of these books at that bookstore. I got all of these. No, I got these 2 from The Next Chapter. This one I think was like $6. So they have Chris and Hannah books for pretty cheap there. Yeah, this one was $6. Really cheap. And this one was $5. And then this one I got from another town's bookstore. And I think this was like $6 or $7. So most of these were pretty cheap. The only one I paid full price for was this one. But this one was, it's a YA, so it's only $10.99. So I really didn't spend too much on these books. I didn't realize I didn't spend more than $25 on all of these books. And books are expensive as fuck. So anyway, let's talk about The Great Alone. So far, I'm loving this one. I think I'm loving this one way more than The Women. Even though, again, I usually give... Because this is now my second Chris and Hannah book in these TBR Takedown videos, because I read The Women in the first episode. So now I'm reading this one. And I'm actually so happy that I went into this one after The Women. Because The Women takes place during the Vietnam War. This takes place right after the war. So the father in this book was a prisoner of war in Vietnam. And it fucked him up so much that he never really got therapy for it. All he does is isolate his family, trying to convince them that he's going to get better if they move to Alaska. So basically, the main character's name is Lenny. And then she has her mother and her father. I forget her mother and father's names right now. It's not really that important. And the father has always, suffered from being an alcoholic, being a heavy drinker, and therefore it makes him, have psychotic episodes where he starts talking to himself, he lashes out on people, he starts going pretty crazy, but he thinks that moving to Alaska is going to solve all their problems. And Lenny, the main character, who's their daughter, she doesn't want to move because, there's such a great line in this book where she says, you know, it must be nice living somewhere your whole life, because I have experienced that. I've lived in my town my entire life. I've never even moved out of my house. I would love to, but um I've never had to move out of state. Like the one time I lived away from home, it was still in New York when I dormed in college, because I went to a university on Long Island. But anyway, this basically is about Lenny growing up, now being taken out of school to go to Alaska, and she doesn't want to go because she's like, you know, we're going to be in the middle of nowhere. Why the fuck are we going there? But you know, the dad pretty much controls everything that they do. And he's like, you know, I'm going to get better, I promise. And blah, blah, blah. You know, he gives them like the pity party, like sob story about how he's going to get better and everything, and how this is the answer to all of their problems. So they move there. And basically, being in Alaska is pretty similar of like being in Beartown. But Beartown, like, they live like closer together to people. In this, you're like pretty much completely alone. That's why it's called The Great Alone. And you only have like radio to communicate with other people if you need help. If you get lost, you're gonna die if you don't have somebody communicating with you. Because it's freezing cold and you have to stock up to survive for the winter, because you can't really go outside. You can't really do much of anything in the wintertime. So, and the winters lasts a lot longer. Like, just because it's springtime doesn't mean it's not freezing. So far, I love this. I think I like this more than the women because we're having more than one character's perspective. I feel like in the women, I struggled a little bit more, but also I still love her writing. I still gave it a 5 stars. This is an automatic 5 stars. I love this book. So I had a feeling I was going to love this one. I'm just trying to read all of her most popular books first. I think this is her 3rd most rated book. I think it has like over 1 million ratings. So I think number 1 is The Nightingale, obviously. And I think number 2 is The Women. And then I think The Great Alone is number 3. So now I will have read all 3 books once I finish this one. So yeah, I will update you guys when I finish it. So, right now the father is really struggling with his mental health, and he starts, you know, beating up the mother. And he's never really done that to Lenny, but he threw her out of the house once in the freezing cold and he locked the door. So yeah, it's like that bad. Or like if he sees anything, he'll like lash out and like uh on both of them. And it's bad. So we'll see if they finally decide to I know Lenny is going to get out of that life, but I don't know about her mother. So cuz they tried to escape once already, and she came back to him and said, I love you. I'm so like, and she lied to him, like, because he was passed out one night after beating the shit out of her. And they tried to leave because, you know, he beat her up until she was bloody. And she was trying to get her mom out to, like, get away from him. So, anyway, I'm going to go. I literally could talk about Kristen Hanna books all day because they're just that great. She's a best-selling author, and for a reason. I always learn something from her books, but they're not boring. They're never boring. I don't know how she makes them so bingeable, because they're just so easy to read. Even though they're long, they take no time to get through. So I don't know why I put them off for so long. I just usually don't want to cry. I have a feeling I'm going to cry at the end of this one, but the women didn't make me cry, so we'll see. That's why I was more inspired to pick up her book sooner rather than later, because I didn't put it off as much as I did with The Nightingale and Firefly Lane, because those two like broke my heart. So yeah, that's it. Bye. Okay, so hey there guys. So wanted to let you guys know that I did finish the first book in this video. I knew I was going to finish this book today. That is Kristen Hanna's The Great Alone. Oh my god. Oh my god, this woman's writing. 6 stars. Starting off this video with a 6-star read. Starting off this vlog with a 6 star. My first 6-star of the whole year. I mean, granted, we're only 2 months into the year. But Kristen Hanna does it again. And I knew from the very first sentence of this page, I knew I was going to fucking love this book. And this one did get me. It got me to cry. This one definitely made me cry more towards the end. God, the way that Kristen Hanna writes sickness in books, I'm not going to say what kind. It's absolutely devastating. And I was crying from listening to the audiobook. I mean, I did read quite a bit of this today, but I mostly listened to the audiobook of this. I probably listened to like 50, at least 60% or more of this, of the audiobook. And I was sobbing. And then at the end, I just cried. And it was beautiful. It was just beautifully written. It was such a... I love that she always has like a sense of hope at the end, regardless of like how sad her stories are. That's what makes her such a popular author, is that she always, like, in fiction books especially, you have to, unless it's like a horror book or like a thriller, sometimes, you know, there's not that much hope. But like in historical fiction especially, or like general fiction books, that's why they become some of my favorite books ever, is that they're so relatable. And I would, like I said, I thought that historical fiction would not be my genre, but Kristen Hanna has made it one of my favorite genres. I mean, this is my second 6-star read by her. The first one was Firefly Lane. So this is now, like I said, my 5th book that I've finished by her. I've listened to Night Road just as like an introduction to her writing. I listened to the audiobook entirely, and I really liked that book. Gave it a 5 stars. Then I went into The Nightingale. That was a 5-star. Then Firefly Lane, which was a 6-star. And then I went into The Women in January, like I said, and that was a 5-star. And then this was a 6-star. So, the woman cannot write a bad book. Like I said, I want to read all of her most popular books. And then I'm not sure what I'm going to pick up after that. I'm going to take a break from her writing now. I feel like this was sad, but I feel like I could pick up, bleh, Jesus Christ. I sound like such an idiot. I could pick up one of her books sooner rather than later. Like, I want to read The Four Winds like sometime in April or May. I'm probably not going to pick up any of her books next month to read, because I have too many other books to read in March. But this was fantastic. Oh my God, this was so good. Like, it's hard to say that this is... It's just like such a great story, but it's a very sad story. And the way that you recommend this book is just like, it's gonna rip your heart out. Like, you can't just be like, oh, I love this. I mean, I love this book, but I love this story because of how much the main character and her mother went through with the father. It was just absolutely heartbreaking. So, I can't really say much about the second half of the book because it's literally going to spoil it all. But I loved this. It was just so good. So, yeah. I will let you guys know which book I go into after this, but this is the first book done for this video. I'm hoping it's Splintered. So yeah, bye. Okay, so hi. So I'm going to change one of the books that I'm going to be putting on the TBR for this video, because this book got picked for my March TBR, and it's been on my TBR for way too long. Like, I mean, that's the whole reason why I do these vlogs every month now. And it's been really helping me get off these books that have been sitting on my TBR cart for too long. So the one we're going to be replacing is Verity by Colleen Hoover, because I really want to read this thriller. I keep on putting it on a couple of TBRs, and I keep on wanting to read it, but for some reason I haven't gotten to it yet. Or like another thriller will come out that I want to read over this one. But I really want to read this. So we're going to read I See You by Claire McIntosh. This is going to be my first thriller book by Claire McIntosh. I just have been very curious about reading this book like probably right after I read the arc that I'm going to read. I'm already reading the arc, which is Once and Again by Rebecca Surley. I really just want to read a thriller after that. And also, like, I wanted to add one more, even though Verity was on the list, I wanted to read another British author's thriller because the British authors are usually always better. So this one says, it all starts during her commute home one night. Zoe Walker glances through her local paper and sees her own face staring back at her in a classified ad. With the grainy photo is a phone number and a listing for a website called findtheone.com. In the following days, she sees other women in the same ad, a different one every day, and nearly all of them show up in the newspapers as victims of increasingly violent crimes, including murder. With the help of a determined cop, Zoe uncovers the ad's twisted purpose, and suddenly the man on the train sitting across the car, the one smiling at Zoe, could be more than just a friendly stranger. He could be someone who has deliberately chosen her and is ready to make his next move. So I just want something that'll creep me out. Right now, I'm just really in the mood to be creeped out. You know, it's so weird that, like, we get into moods of, like, I really want to cry, or I want a fluffy romance, or I want, like, you know, smut, or I want, like, you know, fantasy and high stakes, or I want, like, something that'll just creep me the fuck out. I just want something that's not too long. I have the audiobook on Libby, and I'm just really excited to read this. So, yeah. I don't know why I bought this book like almost 2 years ago when they're both on Libby anyway, the audiobook and the ebook, so I could have just read the ebook. But, you know, I bought this like with my best friend like a year and a half ago or something. I think this has been on my TBR a little bit less time than Verity. Let me just grab my phone. I also might be forming another book club, so out of the 2 book clubs that I tried to you know, keep up with or get the other girlies to actually read the books that we picked, it ended up not working out both times. So, but I did meet 2 other girls at okay. Hold on one second. We did meet 2 other girls at Silent Book Club because I went with my book besties, Meg and Felicia, and we met these 2 other girls there that said that they wanted to form a book club. So I'm like, okay, you know, if we actually at least keep up with it, we'll see. So this one has been on my TBR since December 8th of 2024. I See You. Verity, I think I said it in the last clip. I think it's been on my TBR since October of 2024. No, May of 2024. But I do have until October of 2026 to read that book. And I'm thinking I might just read it right before the movie comes out. Because I think I'm going to see the movie with Felicia in October. We're also going to see Wuthering Heights, I think, at some point in March. But yeah, there's just some... And then Project Hail Mary. I cannot wait for Project Hail Mary. I'm so excited for all these book adaptations. And then Remarkably Bright Creatures in May. And then Verity in October. And then Sunrise on the Reaping in November. So I told you it's the year of the book adaptation. So anyway, we're going to be reading this. We're probably going to be picking this up within the next like 2 days. I'm not going to wait like too long to pick this one up. I'm going to make it my goal in March to read at least 1 book a week that's been on my TBR too long. Like not a new release. Because I have like 5 billion new releases in March. There's, I think, at least half of my TBR is going to be new releases or like newer books that I haven't gotten to yet, which is at least 4. And then for the March new releases, I think there's at least 8. So I'm going to try and read at least this one, Splintered, and what was the other one? The Hating Game. So I can watch that movie too. So yeah. I don't think we're going to be reading Verity. We're going to be reading this. So I'm just going to put this here because I really want to read it next, right after I finish Once and Again. I have to read that before the 10th, so that's why I wanted to go into that. And also it's really short, so if I read that and then I See You, we'll be able to bang out 2 books already before the 3rd because I have 3 new releases that come out that day that I'm going to be reading for the rest of the week. In March, so I'm in the first week in March, so at least if I get 1 book that's been sitting on my TBR for too long off my list before those new releases come out, I'll feel better. So yeah, that's it. Bye. Okay, so hey there guys. I want to give you guys an update on where I'm at in ICU by Claire McIntosh. I officially started this like maybe an hour ago. I just started the audiobook on Libby. I'm on page 61. So I think we're on the second book for this video because the first one I read was The Great Alone, and I freaking loved that book. So this one's definitely not going to be another 6-star read, though. The Great Alone has been my only 6-star read for the year so far. But, 6 stars are harder to find than 5 stars. And this book is about Zoe Walker, like I read in the synopsis before. And I haven't even read the physical book yet. I didn't really physically read that much today. Also because since I've been struggling so much with sleep, I'm going to get into bed right now and just read this book and hopefully go to sleep before 3 a.m. because right now it's 2:30. I need to get into bed like right now. So basically, she is married to a guy, I believe is named Scott, and she works with him, and she is starting a new job, and also they have a daughter, and the daughter is kind of like she was set on being an actress. And we keep on getting like little blurbs in the beginning of some chapters about the stalker that is currently stalking her. I think it's in all the chapters actually. And she is very used to routine in her life. She takes like the same train to work. She takes the same goes through the same kiosk to get through because she knows it's faster. And this stalker, keeps on keeping track of which one she's taking, which train she takes every day, and, how she gets to work and everything. So that's basically what's going on so far. And now we just got no, I think it's one of her coworkers, or maybe I think it's one of her coworkers at the start of her new job. But also, like, her boss wanted to date her. I don't know if this is still the same job, or maybe it's just a different position at the same place. Maybe that's what it is. I'm sorry. I wasn't really paying attention a little bit before, but I do get what's going on now. I mean, it's not that hard to pay attention to a thriller. I mean, I was just like doing something else, but I still got what was happening. And basically her boss like wanted to date her because she had broken up with someone else, and he had claimed that he felt bad for her, so he asked her out, and she was like, I know that he didn't feel bad for me. I knew that he liked me, but I didn't want to compromise my position at work. Even though Scott disapproved, not Scott, Matt is her boss's name. Matt had disapproved of her dating Scott because she worked with Scott, and that's how she met her current husband. So they had a daughter together, and Scott was also moved into a different position at work, and he's like upset that they moved him to something else, and he has longer hours, and every day he comes home like annoyed and pissed off that he has to work later. I'm sorry, I don't know why there's so much dust right now. And I cleaned off this desk like before. I'm gonna go, but I'll update you guys when I get further in. So bye. So that's what's going on. Okay, so hey there guys. So I wanted to give you guys an update on where I'm at in ICU by Claire McIntosh. I've been listening to a lot of the audiobook of this. I finally read the physical copy last night. I read like 45 pages or so. Sorry, give me a second. It's always as soon as I start filming, somebody texts me. Like, I'm available all day now because, I'm not working. And it's only as soon as I turn the freaking camera on. So anyway, I'm really far into it though. I'm definitely finishing this very soon. I'm on page 297. I tried to resist listening to the rest of it this morning because I really want to finish the physical copy, because I did spend my own money on this and I have like 70 pages left, I think. But since it's a thriller, it's not really going to take me that much time at all to finish it. Yeah, so I listened to like 2 chapters this morning, and then I'm going to try and read the rest of it. So then I'll at least read 100 pages of it physically. That's usually my goal if I listen to a lot of the audiobook. I'm just really enjoying the narrator of this. She's really good. So now I got a lot more of a grip on what this is actually about. So Simon is not her husband. It's... Jesus, okay. So anyway, Simon is her boyfriend. They're not actually married. They just live together. And I believe they have one, no, I don't think any of the kids are actually his, though. I think she has a son and a daughter from her previous marriage, which was Matt. I thought that she had turned down Matt because she said, she wasn't going to date her boss, and then meanwhile she ends up dating him and marrying him. But then he ends up cheating on her. So she obviously gets divorced, and she's with Simon now. But Simon has been lying to her about something, and she then realizes she can't obviously trust him. But then he tells her why he was lying to her, because she confronts him about it. And now she wants to help him, but also you don't know exactly who is the main person that's running this insane website that the cops are investigating. And Zoe is obviously a big witness. Her name is Zoe, by the way. Or is her name Zoe? That's so crazy if her name is Zoe and so is yeah, Zoe. Literally the same as his and hers, the sisters. Oh my god, I keep on getting distracted. The sister's name from his and hers is named Zoe as well, from the cop's sister. And she's kind of crazy too. So anyway, but Zoe's not crazy, but who knows? So hang on a second. Let me put this on Do Not Disturb for 2 seconds. I don't even know, honestly, what is happening. Anyway, so there's this big crime website going on where, and I think that's such a unique concept. It's so crazy, but also I haven't read anything close to this concept at all. And the password for the website is I see you. And they get it from the numbers on a phone. 1, 2, 3. 1 would be ABC, 2 would be DEF. All right, I need to put this on Do Not Disturb. Just give me 1 second. Why is this? Oh my god. I'm sorry. My friend is sending me a freaking paragraph right now, a whole essay. So I'm sorry. So anyway, the website is basically following women on how they commute to work and where they go all the time, and somehow they're able to track their every move for men that want to have a power rush or adrenaline rush where they try to either assault the woman or stalk them or try and kill them, because one of the guys tries to kill Zoe. And basically there's another character named Kelly, and she is it's kind of similar to his and hers, where she is the younger police investigator. And I loved the book His and Hers, but this is very well a very well-rounded crime thriller, and I'm really enjoying it a lot. For my first Claire McIntosh book, I can see why she's so popular. I think she's great. And also, she's a British thriller author. I mean, hello, I always love the British thriller authors. So anyway, and I can't believe it took me this long to pick up this book. I'm loving it. I think it's so good. Um, so Kelly is questioning all of the suspects and all the guys that are involved in this like crime ring pretty much, and they're trying to find out who the person is that is running this website. And all of these guys have been like clients, you know, trying to get women this way, which is, it's just so disgusting. And also Zoe is trying to balance her relationship with Simon and her ex-husband Matt. And it's just like Zoe thinks that she's going a little insane because it's all in her head. But also, she thinks it's all in her head, but it's not. It's like a way bigger deal than she thinks. But also, her daughter is dating like an older man named Isaac. And there's another part where she's getting chased again because she's been chased before, but the first guy, you know, tried to push her on off the tracks of the train that she takes to work, which is so crazy. But then she hears somebody else chasing her, I think on the way home from work. And it turns out it was Isaac. I forget who told her that it was Isaac, that he was trying to get her attention and talk to her and tell her something. And now she feels like a fool because she's like, oh my God, I didn't know that he was trying to talk to me. She thought it was like, you know, one of the guys that was trying to hurt her. So now I'm on the last 70 pages, like I said, and I cannot wait to see how this ends. So yeah, that's basically the gist of this book, and now I understand it a lot better. So yeah, we're just going to finish it, and I'll let you guys know my thoughts. Okay, so hey there, guys. So I'll grab my phone in a second. I wanted to let you guys know that I did just finish I See You by Claire McIntosh. This was so good, you guys, for my first Claire McIntosh book. I can't believe I finally got to it. I mean, like, sometimes it's just right book, right time. And this was definitely what I was in the mood for. And oh my God, this was so freaking good. I'm giving this a 4.5 stars. It wasn't exactly a 5-star, but still, I really enjoyed this for being my first book by her. The last 50 pages of this were so adrenaline rushed and so, like, on the edge of your seat. Like, oh my God, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Just so good. I don't really want to give away anything from the last 50 pages or so. I pretty much explain what this is about because it's going to be super spoilery if I talk about the last 50 pages, so I really can't say anything. But I just wanted to say that the person it ended up being, I figured it out as soon as like they came to their house kind of. And I was like, how the hell did she get here? That's all I'm going to say. Or they got here, you know, he, she, who knows. And then Zoe had said to the person that she, you know, obviously figured out that it was that person, like, you had help running this website. And then the, you know, main, like, mastermind behind it is not caught. And, like, honestly, I least suspected this person, but like that's kind of what Alice Feeney does. So she's really good about steering you into the wrong direction to see whether or not it is that person that you think it is, because they had a collaborator, you know? So, and that person is probably never going to get caught. So it was just really good. And what was I going to say about I just felt like we needed a little bit more closure about what was going to happen to the website, because now obviously I feel like it's still going to be ran, and I don't know if the police are ever going to catch the person that's running it still. That's the only thing. But besides that, it was so freaking good. So I really liked this, and yeah, I'm excited to read more books by her. I would like to read I Let You Go next at some point. Probably not for a couple of months though, because I don't really feel like picking up a thriller. And I do have King of Ashes by oh my God, I can never remember their name. S.A. Cosby, I believe, is the author. That's the other thriller that's on my TBR this month. So I'm not going to read that until like mid-March though. And that book hasn't been on my TBR as long as this one. So I'm so glad we got another book off this list. Yeah, S.A. Cosby. So I still need my phone. What am I doing? So yeah, really good books that we've read in this video. So far, a 6-star read and a 4.5. I mean, like I said, we're doing really good. And I did pick a wide range of books this time. We had The Great Alone, which was a historical fiction by Kristen Hanna, and then we had a British thriller. And then I'm actually going to be adding a Kindle read to this video because I remember that I did 5 books in the first episode of this, so now I'm going to add one more, but I also don't want to neglect my Kindle TBR in this video. At first I was like, I just need to read physical books, and I'm like, what are you doing, Caitlin? You put a Kindle read that's been on your TBR for quite a while in the first episode of this, so I was like, might as well add another Kindle read to the second episode, so I want to do at least one Kindle read in every episode. And again, I want to read, some Kindle books that have been on my TBR for a while. So the one that I'm going to be adding, and this is the one that I'm going to be reading next in this video, it's kind of like a sadder romance. It's not like, what do you call it? I don't know why I'm drawing a drama-filled romance pretty much. It's with not super dark, but it's more so this couple just keeps on hurting each other, but it's not too dark. But there's also a lot of cheating in it, so I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it. But also this book has been on my TBR for at least almost through 2 years because I put it on my TBR June 18th of 2024. So it's been on my TBR for quite a while. And it's me and Felicia's buddy read for the month. Also, I just wanted to say, so I have this one, and then I have Splintered by A.G. Howard, which is a YA fantasy, and then I have The Hating Game, which is a contemporary romance by Sally Thorne. So again, we have a really wide range of books on this in this video again. So the one that I'm going to be reading with Felicia, because I really enjoy doing our buddy reads every month, because we also just pick up the book whenever we want to. It's basically our own little book club where we don't read the books at the same time. We barely even update each other about where we're at in the books because we read them at different times in the month. We don't put any pressure on when we're going to read the book. We pick it up when we want to read it. So that's why I love doing the buddy reads with her. And also it inspires me to pick up books that I necessarily wouldn't be pushed to pick up anytime soon, but the buddy reads inspire me to actually push me to read them and not have them sitting on my TBR for so long. So our buddy read is going to be A Love Letter to Whiskey by Candy Steiner. Now I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about this one, but I'm going to download it on my Kindle because I actually don't even have it downloaded right now because but I have 2 or 3 other Kindle reads that I really would like to get to this month, but they're all newer fantasy, romantasy, or dystopian books. So, and they're 3 that are really high on my list. But I have I might be in the middle of 3 fantasy books soon. I borrowed it on July 2nd of 2024. So now I'm just going to re-download it. I'm going to probably just get rid of the Megan Quinn book for now because I'm going to read this book sooner. So yeah, now it's downloaded on my Kindle. Awesome. So I'll probably read that next week. I'm not going to pick it up right now because I'm actually going to be reading The Poet Empress by Shen Tao. I started it last night on my Kindle and I'm loving it so far. I only read the first 5 pages and I definitely want to continue with that later this week. But the thing is that I'm going to be in the middle of 3 different fantasy books right now because I got The Dragon and the Sun Lotus early yesterday by Amelie Wenzhou. And this is the second book in I forget what the series is actually called, but it's the second book and the follow-up to The Scorpion and the Night Blossom, and I love that first book. And this is my 4th book by Amelie Wenzhou that I'm going to be reading. So I really want to start this tonight because I picked it up early, but I haven't started the book yet because I was finishing ICU. But I don't have the audiobook for this yet, so I can't listen to it until tomorrow. And then for the Poet Empress, I might get the audiobook for that on Everand, but I also just got the audiobook for Half City by Katie Golden on Libby, which is another like newer fantasy, but I think it's more of like an urban fantasy or dark academia. And I really want to go into that too. And I need an audiobook to listen to while I'm getting ready to see my friends. So I might be in the middle of 3 different books because they're all different formats. And I really do want to read a fantasy book right now. So I don't know if I might just read those 3 books for the rest of the week and then go into the new romances that are coming out this weekend, because there's 2 other romance books that are coming out tomorrow along with The Dragon and the Sun Lotus. But again, since I got that early, I want to read that. I'm in the mood for a fantasy now, because I just read a romance and a thriller. The romance that I read was an arc that I didn't really like, but I needed to read it before the 10th because it comes out on the 10th. So I didn't really love it though. But anyway, I'm glad that I already finished 2 books and we're not even done with the second day of March yet. So, and I've already banged out 2 books, which is crazy. So I think at this point we'll probably end up reading over 20 books again this month because I already, again, finished 2. So anyway, that's going to be the Kindle read for this video. And then I'll see when I'll be able to go into, the Hating Game or Splintered. That's probably not going to be until after I read the other like new releases after the 10th, because I think I want to go into A Love Letter to Whiskey this weekend after I finish those 3 fantasy books that I really want to read and those other 2 romance books. I might just go into A Love Letter to Whiskey after that. So yeah, not really sure. It's going to be read within the next week and a half though, for sure. So yeah, that's it, and I will check in with you guys when I start it. So bye. Okay, so hey there guys. So I wanted to give you guys an update on which book I actually ended up starting next for this video. I realized how tired I am, so I'm gonna lean back. Even though I need to leave in like 3 hours. Well, like a little bit less than 3. Well, a little bit over 3 hours, I mean. Can I like tell time? No, because the clock's turned forward. But I went to bed so late, which is, not what you're supposed to do when that happens. But I was not sleepy until like really late because I had coffee really late yesterday. I had coffee with my friend at like a little after 4. So I think that's the reason why I knew I wasn't going to go to bed early at all. I mean, I never do, but anyway, so we didn't end up, well, I am actually reading this book, but only in like 2 or 3 page like time frames because I'm only reading it at night. So we did technically start A Love Letter to Whiskey. I don't even know who the author is, dude. Why do I look like a frog? Where's my phone? I don't know where my phone is. We'll talk about the author when I actually start reading it more. Oh, it's literally right under the book that I'm reading right now. Okay. I don't even know who the author is. Sometimes I don't even look. Candy Steiner. I've only read like the first like 5 pages of it, and so far I'm really intrigued by it. But I know it's going to be really messy, so that's what I'm kind of in the mood for, but I don't think I'm going to have time to like fully commit to it until next weekend, because I decided to start a different book for this, but also this book has been on my physical TBR for so long that I'm like, I just really want to read it, so I decided to start The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. I've just been listening to the audiobook, so I'm on chapter 6, page 65. And I got this really, really cute bookmark from Barnes a couple of days ago because I was shopping for my mom's birthday and they have like this really cute romance one. So, and the hating games, I didn't even realize the hating game was on there. Perfection. You know, destiny when we pick up certain books. I had no idea that it was even on here. But yeah, this is like one of the most popular romance books out there, and I'm like really surprised that or shocked that I haven't read this book yet. Because I think I've owned this book since like at least summer of 2024. So it's been on my TBR for a good like year and a half. So I'm like, dude, almost 2 years at this point if I hadn't read it soon. And I just wanted to pick up like a short little romance before I have to read new releases. And again, I'm trying to read at least one book that's been on my TBR for too long, at least once a week. Along with all the fucking March new releases. There's just so many. It's like a little ridiculous. Um, so anyway, this is about a girl named Lucy and the guy's character is Joshua. And basically, I mean, it's pretty self-descriptive. They hate each other, but she hasn't really explained why they don't like each other, but also they have like this weird attraction towards each other, which again, she hasn't explained why they hate each other and why they're attracted to each other. I guess like you don't really need that much of an explanation. I think like because usually I expect from like these work office rivalries like a rivals to lovers romance because it's usually what happens. But again, we haven't had any explanation as to why they don't like each other. And I think that was a lot of people's problem with this book because I'm reading some reviews on Goodreads and I've seen like very mixed reviews about this book. Some people actually hate this book. No pun intended, but I don't know. So far, I'm having a good time. I think it's funny, and I just wanted a fun, entertaining time right now. Something I didn't really have to think about. Um, so far, nothing is bothering me too much about like some of the things that she says. Because it's like typical workplace kind of stereotyping. Even though like some people get offended by that, I do understand sometimes workplace settings can be very toxic. Especially office settings because I have a friend that had experienced that like almost every day at her old job. I don't know if we're really friends right now, but that's besides the point. But she used to tell me that because she ditched me in the city on Valentine's Day, but at least I didn't make it to the city before that happened. I was about to get on the platform. Well, I was about to turn into the train station to catch my train to get to the city, and then she canceled on me. So thank God I was not on the train yet, or I would have like killed her. But anyway, yeah. So that's really it for now. I just wanted to read this because I really want to watch the movie too. But there's a couple of other book adaptations that I'm excited for this month too. But I do want to watch the movie. So far that's really all that's happening. And they just kissed for some reason. And somehow I missed that when I was listening to the audiobook. I might just re-listen to that part. Because I was trying to get a ticket for a movie today. As I was listening to the audiobook. Um, and she kind of doesn't explain why they kiss either. But she also has a date that she's going on. So it's like, why are you kissing another guy? Because like you wouldn't want to go on a date with him because of how much you hate him. And I do think that is a very funny part is why they hate is like her narration of why she of her hating Josh, not why. God, I forgot to turn my fucking alarm off. Ugh. Annoying. Because I have to go take care of Merlin soon, my baby, my little Flurlies, my doggo. Yeah, Peppers. He's so cute. He's not even that little anymore. He's huge, but he's so adorable. I love him so much. But I'm not gonna get up for another like 15 minutes or so. Or what else was I say? Oh yeah, so I got the a movie ticket for Wuthering Heights. I've never read the book, and people say that the movie or like any movie adaptation of this is way better than the book. So I don't think I'm even gonna bother with reading the book, and also it's a classic, so I'm not really into classics. I feel like I should. My friend told me yesterday that I really should read Pride and Prejudice, and so did my sister, so that might be the only exception. I might try and listen to the Audible version because Audible like redid this whole new version of the audiobook with like a full cast. So, and then what else? There's also Project Hail Mary coming out, and I'm so excited for that. I'm making my friend read it cuz he really wants me to watch this anime that so I told him I would start it in March, and I actually started it last night. I watched the first episode cuz then by that point it was so late, so I only wanted to because I actually started watching it when I was playing with my puppo. And then I finished it last night. So yeah, very excited for those. I'm really tired. I'm gonna go. I was thinking about filming the rest of my reading wrap up also, but I'm too tired for that. So I'm just gonna. It's not even that late. I mean that early. It's friggin' 11:20. But yeah. So I will update you guys if we find out whether or not if we find out why they hate each other so much. Okay, so hey there guys. So I wanted to let you guys know that I did finish The Hating Game by Sally Thorne last night. Can I speak English? I didn't end up making any more check-in updates because I listened to the audiobook back and forth seeing my friend yesterday, and I'm surprised that I got through so much then because I think by the time I had gotten home I was almost 60% into the book, and then it said I only had like 2 hours left. So I just finished it. So I'm still finishing a book a day, which is fucking crazy. So and I didn't really like it that much. I gave it a 2.75 out of 5. Why do I say out of 5? Like, I usually don't say that, but it's fine. It's just, by the time we actually found out why they hated each other, it wasn't even that much of a good reason for them to be in a rivalry still. And I never really felt the chemistry between the two of them because it just felt weird to me that like every time that she had like 2 guys pining over her, by the way, and I can't even get one to pine over me, but since I broke up with my ex, but as you know, men fucking suck. But anyway, yeah, I just didn't really feel anything else towards the characters and the story. Like, it kind of felt very cliche of what other romances are, but also this was one of the older ones, so I feel like, other rivals to lovers kind of plots have been probably inspired by this book, but at the same time, like, I think that the rivals to lovers books that I've read are better than this one because the rivalries are just better. And also, it was honestly going to be a 2-star for me until the very end because I thought he did something really sweet for her at the end. And then I was like, oh, okay, that bumped it up a little bit, but I still didn't think it was that great. So I honestly don't even want to talk about it anymore because it's not that good of a book. So, the only thing that I really loved, and I didn't even realize this until like when I was reading the book physically again, because I only read like 80 pages of it physically because I like honestly didn't really care, and I read like 50 pages last night when I got home, is that the bookmark that I got from Barnes like a couple of days ago when I was shopping for my mom's birthday. I wanted to pick this one up for myself, and it's such a cute, like, romance one, and it has The Hating Game on it. But I've read, like, actually more than half of these books on here. I've read Book Lovers, Love Hypothesis, The Very Secret Society, Hello Stranger, You With a View, Red, White, and Royal Blue. Now I read The Hating Game, Love in Other Words, Yours Truly, and It Ends With Us. So I read a lot of these on here. So I didn't even know this one last night at, I'm not really sure what that is. So yeah, very excited to read some more of those. But anyway, so yeah, that's it. It's just like they went into like the reasons why he is the way he is, but honestly, it's not really the way that he's an asshole is like so it's like for no reason, to be honest. Cuz like she says that when people see Josh at work, they like scramble to their desks and have to work, and he'll make somebody cry, and I was like, why is that like a good quality? Like, why do you have to tell? Because like she had to convince his dad that he was worth rooting for, because his dad has always thought more highly of his brother, like his other son, than him, which is Josh. His other brother's name is Patrick. And also they go to his brother's wedding, like 60 or 70% into the book. And then she finds out something that's like kind of messed up that Josh didn't tell her, but also they're not boyfriend and girlfriend still at this time. They're just hooking up with each other. And then he says, you owe me, you have to go be my date to my brother's wedding. She's like, okay, I'll do it. And I don't know. He treated her like, he didn't really treat her like crap. I just didn't like that he didn't tell her certain things that she should know. He's like withholding information. But he acts like all possessive with her, like if she wants to go out with the other guy that likes her. So I'm like, and it was just got so frustrating. I was yelling at the book at one point, and I was like, because you like each other, just tell each other that you like each other. Like, you're already effing each other. Just tell each other you like each other. Like, that was just annoying the shit out of me. I'm like, if he doesn't want her to date anybody else, clearly that means that he wants to be with her. Like, is the main character that dumb where she's like, oh my God, Josh loves me? It's like, duh. Like, so yeah, just sometimes like the miscommunication is just like so strong. Like, sometimes it is a little bit justifiable. Like, I'm not gonna completely write off a book because the characters don't communicate about something, because there are some things that are really hard to talk about, so I get that. It's just like, if it's not explained to me, though, as to why you didn't communicate it, then it just gets fucking frustrating. And I think that's what people's issues are with the miscommunication trope so much, is that you don't communicate why you didn't communicate, because you can't communicate. So, anyway, that's it. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I can't believe we're on the 4th book already for this video, right? Because I read The Great Alone, what was it? I See You, and now we're going to read The Hating Game, and now we're going to read A Love Letter to Whiskey, and then the last book we're going to read is The Crimson Crown. So I have been reading A Love Letter to Whiskey here and there every night, like 2 or 3 pages. So I'm not really that far in at all. I'm not going to devote my time like fully to it until like this coming weekend, I think. Because I started another book for another vlog that I'm in the middle of for my TBR elimination vlog. So I'm about to update about this one as soon as I come off of this clip. So yeah, I'll let you guys know when I get further into A Love Letter to Whiskey. So yeah, but so far I'm enjoying it from what I read. I think I'm not even on page 10. I don't even know. But I'll update you guys when I actually get further into it. So yeah, bye. Okay, so hey there guys. So I know I haven't updated this vlog in a while, but it's not like you guys see any of that because it's only seconds for you. So this is crazy for me, and I don't know why I'm getting anxiety about this, but I'm like, I think that this was the right decision. So I started A Love Letter to Whiskey this morning. Like, I've been reading it here and there on and off on my Kindle for the past couple of days, but I've only been reading like a page or two because I've just been reading it before I go to sleep. And I thought it was okay when it started. I was like, all right, I think I could read this. I can't. I can't do it. I got almost 30% in and I literally cannot do it anymore. So I'm officially DNFing it. And I actually feel really good about that because I don't DNF books. I really don't. But I think even me for DNFing a book, it has to be something that I'm really not enjoying whatsoever. Like, I kind of felt the same way about Just Friends by Haley Pham, but it was not as bad as this book because this book, I really tried. I really tried to like this, but I felt like it was going to put me in a massive reading slump if I decided to keep on reading it because, and you guys know I don't slump. I'm really not I do everything that I possibly can to not fall into a reading slump. And I'm like, I really cannot fall into a reading slump because, reading is my favorite thing in the entire world. But also, like I said, if I continued reading it, I feel like I would have been like in my first reading slump in my entire life. Because I felt like that back in February, like the beginning of February when I was reading Red Queen. And then I took a break from the series and I decided to read 3 other books, and then I came back to Red Queen, and then I loved it. I loved the last book. I thought the last book was like the best in the series. But with this, I don't think I'm going to come back to this book because I felt like I was literally wanting to gouge my eyes out every single time I was picking up this book. I couldn't even read it on my Kindle. I read 1 chapter with my book bestie Felicia because we were buddy reading this book. She read it last week and she said it wasn't her favorite thing, but she did finish it. I got like 100 and something pages in, and like most people give a lot of books like 100 pages at least before they decide whether or not to DNF something. So I was like, let me give it 100 pages. And I'm like, I can't do it. I just physically cannot do it. I just thought that the dialogue was so goddamn stupid. It was so stupid. I'm sorry. And also the cheating trope in this book, I cannot get over it. I think I'm hating cheating trope books at this point. Like, I mean, I've never really been a huge fan of them. But besides Magnolia Parks, that's literally the only book that you just feel so much to the characters. I'm not excusing what they did in the book. But that is just like such a heartbreaking romance story that it's like you end up feeling for the character. I know some people hate Magnolia Parks. That's fine. But like, there was another author that I've been trying to read her books, Rebecca Surley, that I read the arc for Once and Again because I got the arc, I think, back in September. And the book came out last week. So I read it like the week before it came out and I hated it. I really do not like her writing anymore because all she does is use the cheating trope in every single book that she writes. So I can't read her books anymore. So I'm just like not reading anything else from this author. From Rebecca Surley, I mean. But this, I'm not reading any more books by this author. I think her name is, I don't even know. This is definitely her most popular book, though. And I've seen, like, so many opinions, like, basically saying, or reviews on Goodreads saying, like, the same thing. Where people are like, I cannot believe that this book has gotten, like, it's by Candy Steiner, has gotten so many 5-star reviews, including Larry Reed's, which she's one of my favorite YouTubers, and I tried to give it a chance because of her, but also, again, because me and Felicia were buddy reading it, and I'm like, what is this shit? Like, I'm just not having a good time whatsoever, and I'm like, I don't want to force myself to read something that I am actually fucking hating, so I'm like, I'm done. I'm not reading it anymore. I don't even feel like wasting time talking about it anymore. I just really just didn't like it. Even the audiobook, the narrator's voices were annoying me so fucking much that I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I can't even listen to the audiobook to try and get through this. I shouldn't be getting through books. I should be enjoying what I'm reading. And remember what I said before earlier, I think earlier this year. I don't know if I did the end of the year book tag or just the 2026 book tag, where I said, like, I wanted to DNF books or don't be afraid to DNF. So I'm officially DNFing my first book of 2026. And I'm not going to do it often because, and also for me, I don't DNF physical books unless, it's fucking awful. But, like, the only physical books that I've ever DNF'd in my personal collection was It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. I got rid of those books so quickly because I literally could not do it. Those books were awful. So I got rid of those, like, right away. But I was also reading it on Kindle, so I didn't even feel that guilty to get rid of the books because I'm like, I hate them. But with this, it was a Kindle read, and I borrowed the book from Libby, so I didn't waste any money on it, thank God. So for me, usually I just DNF either Kindle books or audiobooks. And usually audiobooks are from, like, the library, even though I've DNF'd 3 audiobooks from Audible. But I don't DNF physical books. But this, I just could not do it. The cheating trope in this book is ridiculous. And she says that, she didn't want to date him and she doesn't want to be with him because she's with this other guy. And even though she kissed him and she's like, we made a mistake, we shouldn't do this again. And then meanwhile, he's invited back to her house for some other shit. I don't even know what it was for. I think, like, some event for her current boyfriend. And her, the one that she already slept with, she kisses him. Then, like, 2 days later, I don't even know how much time had passed, because honestly I was zoning out, because it's like, I don't even fucking care at this point how much time has passed. But then she has him over for this event that her current boyfriend is throwing, because he's running for, like, vice president of, like, the town or some bullshit. I don't even know what it's for. And I think she can't break up with him because, he's a politician and blah, 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 whatever. Can I move this? Or is this as low as it goes? I think this is as low as it goes. I don't know why the fuck I'm having so much trouble right now. Hold the phone. So she's like, I can't be with you, blah, 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 because I'm with him. And then a couple days later, like, because he kisses her, and he's like, it was a mistake, I'm so sorry, but please don't let me go, let's be friends. And then a couple days later, they fucking sleep together, okay? They slept together. And she's still with the other guy. And then he has this, like, political event at their house, or apartment, or whatever, and she's like, I brought tacos home, and Ethan's like, oh my god, you brought tacos home? Which is her current boyfriend, and she's like, yes, I did. And then, just so stupid. And then Jamie comes over. I guess he's invited to this luncheon event too. And he's trying to talk to her about what happened with them sleeping together. And she tries to talk to her boyfriend about what happened. And then he's like, can we do this later, honey? Because, I'm trying to get ready for this luncheon. And honestly, I felt so bad for Ethan. I'm like, she's like, but I just needed to tell somebody. So I told my friend who randomly popped in. And, I just felt so bad, but also I needed to get it off my chest and blah, 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 and whatever. But, like, dude, just, like, break up with him and be with who you want to be with. Like, for some reason, it's always never been the right timing for them. Like, they've always just come together when they've been in other relationships. But also, like, I understand she didn't have a great childhood and her parents weren't really that great and whatever. But also, she's not too young. She's in fucking college. She should be able to reason that this isn't, like, she knows that it's wrong, but she keeps on doing it. So it's just like, why don't you just be with him? They're both, like, but she acts like, that Jamie doesn't care about her and that he's just gonna go sleep with other girls, even though he just slept with her and he's like, you're the only person I want to be with.
But then she gets mad that he doesn't, like, text her the next day. Because why would he? Really shouldn't be. But then, like, he's being stupid too, where he's like, please don't not be friends with me. It was a mistake to kiss you, but then they sleep together anyway. I'm like, okay, this is fucking stupid. I can't deal with this book anymore. So, before I fell into a fucking reading slump, I just DNF'd it. I'm like, I shouldn't feel guilty about this. Honestly, I feel like if I did make these decisions a little bit more for myself, I think I'll be a little bit happier because also I have not found a 5-star this month. So I don't know what the next book is going to be for this video because like I said, I ended up choosing Splinter to read for another video that I'm doing. So right now I went because I really just want to read something on my Kindle, and I'm reading the book that is literally everywhere on TikTok, on Goodreads, on everything right now, which is Daggermouth by it's not gonna be in this vlog. I'm just telling you guys why I'm reading it because again I just could not get through A Love Letter to Whiskey. Daggermouth by R.M. Wolfe. And it's like a dystopian adult fantasy book that's like literally everywhere, and I just feel like I'm missing out. So I'm just gonna read this because I started it last night and I'm literally so hooked. So I'm like, I'd rather just binge the shit out of this book because all I want to do is read tonight because I already did a lot. I had 2 doctor's appointments, and then I met my book bestie Felicia, and I was reading this book with her in Barnes, and I'm like, Felicia, I don't know if I can read this book anymore. Like, I think it's terrible. I'm sorry. If you love it, that's great, but for me, I just could not get through it. So, it's done. So yeah, I'm not really sure what other book I'm going to read in this video. I might try and pick a different book for the vlog that I'm reading. Oh wait, I was going to read The Crimson Crown. So we'll just read that. I'm not sure what the next Kindle read is going to be for this video. So yeah, that's it. Bye.
Okay, so hey there guys. So I figured out what the last book was going to be in this video that we are going to read. I'm not going to read a Kindle one in this video because the whole point of these videos is to get my physical TBR down. That's why they're called TBR Takedowns, is because we're trying to get our physical TBR down. So I don't have to include a Kindle read in every single TBR Takedown video. If there is one that's been sitting on my Kindle for a long time that I'm in the mood to read or it's on my TBR, then I will read them in those videos. But since A Love Letter to Whiskey didn't work out and I almost slumped so hard, I think I'm officially out of my slump, even though we've finished 22 books this month. So clearly I'm not slumping anymore. But I still finished those books while I was feeling slumpy. So anyway, I decided to pick up a book that technically is on my April TBR, but I just was so in the mood to read this before March was over. So technically we're sneaking it into March, but honestly, I kind of wanted to because also like there's so many April releases that like I kind of wanted to read at least one more book in March because we only read 3 that have been on my TBR for a long time in March, and I was like, I really want to read another one. And this book is so short, and it's been on my TBR for over 2 years. Not the actual physical book, but this author's books in general. I would love to read all of their books. So the final book we're going to be reading in this video is The Humans by Matt Haig, and I actually just started the audiobook like a half hour ago. And I'm on page 30. This book is only 275 pages long. So we're probably going to finish it Tuesday night. I'm currently reading Hamnet as well by Maggie O'Farrell. And this is like a huge like national bestseller. And the reason why I'm reading this is because me and my mom want to watch the movie. And she just finished this book. So now I'm reading it. But the chapters are really, really long. So I didn't want to exactly listen to an 80-minute chapter when I was getting ready for bed. I was like, I'm definitely not going to finish it. And there's not really any chapters in this, but it's not labeled either. It's just like one continuing story. But anyway, so far I'm really enjoying it. But I didn't think I was going to be like in the mood to read it. And I kind of am. And I am very intrigued to see what happens because me and my mom want to watch the movie. But anyway, I am so glad I finally picked up this book. So I think I bought this book maybe like, I don't know why I'm yelling again. I don't, everybody's sleeping. I think I bought this book in like maybe the end of 2024, maybe like fall or winter 2024, because it was on a trip once with one of my friends to the city, and we had went to like the big Barnes and Noble in Union Square, and I bought this book there along with The Night Circus. So I finally had read The Night Circus, and then I picked up this book as well because I got it off of like one of, I remember where I usually get my books. I just don't remember when, but I usually always remember where I buy them. So, and it's usually only Barnes and Noble, The Next Chapter, Published. Those are like the local spots in my town. Um, or the city, Barnes and Noble, Strand, or Comic-Con. That's like really it. Like some city bookstores in Huntington. And what else? Like maybe other, the Babylon bookstore, or like a couple of other like local bookstores near like on Long Island. But anyway, why am I rambling? So I got this off the buy one get one half table, and I thought all the books on that table were buy one get one half, and I think one of the sales associates told me that they were. And when I went up to the register, I was like, the reason why I'm buying both these books is I thought they were buy one get one half, and they were coming up both, I think, full price. And I was like, aren't these buy one get one half? And he's like, I'll adjust it for you because I thought they were on the buy one get one half table. So he did it for me. So that was like a one-time thing though. That's never happened again for me because usually they're really good about designating which ones are buy one get one half, but also sometimes like I think a lot of people got confused with that. So I feel like I wasn't the only one when they used to do it. Now they like just designate those tables that are the buy one get one half, but some books weren't on there, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like they shouldn't be on that table then, It's not like it's in the wrong section. It's just because like it's not on the customer to assume that they're buy one get one half. It's not like they're all on sale and like they're just in the wrong section. It's like buy one get one half is different. I've had a lot of buy one get one half sales in retail, and it's a totally different kind of sale. You pay full price for one and you get the other one half off. So you're still paying full price for one. So anyway, I started this, and this is fucking hysterical so far. And Matt Haig is again, why am I yelling? I don't know. Nobody is up right now, so I need to take it down a notch. Also, my throat is driving me nuts right now. I might have to shake it out again. I am so lazy though. All I did today was lay around. I really didn't do fucking shit today. I was supposed to do stuff, but then I didn't. Sorry, hold on. Give me a second. Okay, so hey there guys. So I'm sorry that I didn't make any more updates reading this book, but I just finished The Humans by Matt Haig. I literally just made the update that I started this book. I didn't even give you any further updates because I loved this. I loved this so much. I'm so glad I finally got to reading this book. And I'm so glad that I, was finally able to finish this vlog in March because, honestly, like I said, I really wanted to squeeze in at least one more book before March ended, and I did, and I loved this. I gave this a 5 stars. I forgot how much I fucking love his writing. And sometimes the shortest books, they portray, the most profound stories, like The Bright Years by Sarah Damoff. That was definitely probably my favorite book this year besides The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna, which I obviously read in this video too. But I loved this. It was just so good. It was just so heartwarming, but also he also talks about mental health and unaliving, so check your trigger warnings, like unaliving yourself. But the way that he talks about it is he went through these things as well. And he always has some type of mental health message in his books that I really just resonate with. And basically what happened is that he starts to
realize that like humans aren't as evil as the alien race that he is a part of seem to be, because these aliens told him he's not just being super curious and uh observing humans. He is sent to kill the family that he is now going to be a part of, because the person's body that he ends up taking he doesn't take over the body, but like they make him look like this person. um they killed him like earlier on, before he came to Earth to live with his wife and his son. And he's trying to figure out whether or not he wants to kill them or not, because he is sent to kill. So like they're, I guess they are a little evil because they think humans are evil, and they are sent to kill the families that they stay with, because they say, humanity can't be saved. So I was a little bit wrong about saying like, oh yeah, they're just like, they're scared, because they are, I mean, they are scared of us still. So I wasn't wrong about that. Um, so yeah, anyway, he tries to determine whether or not he wants to kill them. But of course, he ends up like really caring about them. And that's all I'm gonna say, because like I feel like anything else would be a little bit too spoilery. So I just loved it. It was hysterical. It was such a fast, quick read. And I'm so glad I finally read it and got it off my TBR. And I added another book to my Matt Haig backlist. So I think this is the fifth book I've now read by him. Um, and also the sequel to The Midnight Library is coming out. I believe it's the end of May. I know it's coming out in May. I just don't know if it's the end of May or like mid-May. I think it's like the 26th or something of May. But anyway, if that's wrong, I'm sorry, and I'm just going to rhyme again. But anyway, um I kind of wanted to get at least one more of his books under my belt before I read that one, because I'm 100% reading that. Um because I don't think he had a new release last year, because like I said, the last book I read by him was The Life Impossible, and a lot of people didn't love that one. I really liked it, and I still think that his stories resonate with me no matter what, but it was a little bit slow. Like sometimes he writes stuff, even though his chapters are like really short. In The Life Impossible, it was a little bit too overly descriptive, but I love the way that he appreciates things in life and how he writes about them in books, because he always says like never waste a moment, and he's just such a profound, beautiful writer. And I'm so happy I read this one. It was so fucking funny. I just had such a great time reading this. So yeah, 5 stars. So let's go ahead and rank the 4 books that I read well, 5 books technically. So, but we completed 4 and we DNF'd 1. So number 5 obviously was A Love Letter to Whiskey by Candy Steiner. I could not for the life of me get through that book. You couldn't pay me to finish that book. I got 30% in and I absolutely hated the cheating trope in it. So I had to DNF it. I got 30% into it and that was it. So 1 star for that. And then number 4 was The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. Number 4, Sally Thorne. Rhyming again. I didn't, no pun intended, but I didn't hate this, but I didn't love it. It was just okay. And it wasn't, it was funny at times. I think I gave it like a 3.25 or 3.5. I don't, unless it was just a 3 star. I can't remember what my rating was, but obviously it ranked under the rest of them. And then and I just watched the movie last week actually. The movie was cute, but they did cut out a lot of like kind of the controversial stuff out of the book and like the more triggering jokes that she says. And I'm wearing my Barbie and Ken's shirt from the Barbie movie. But anyway, and then number 3 was I See You by Claire McIntosh. I loved it. I'm so happy I finally got to my first Claire McIntosh book. I definitely want to read more of her books in the future. So that was, I believe, a 4.5. It was just so freaking good. What a unique concept for a thriller. And then number 2 was The Humans by Matt Haig.
Again, I just gave you my thoughts on it. It was a 5-star. I loved it. And then number 1 was The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. That was probably my favorite book I read this year because it's the only book I gave 6 stars this year. I don't know why I'm saying probably when it is. Like, you know, Kristen Hanna is just, she's on that throne for a reason. Her books are absolutely fucking amazing. So yeah, I have to go because we're going to have dinner now. So please like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram at SVW819 and check out my Goodreads and my TikTok in the links below. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video and keep reading and let me know if you've read any of these books or if they're on your TBR. So yeah, that's it. Bye.